Wonderful, amazing pre-algebra students. Here we are ready to do just a little bit more practice on our section 7.5 where we have variables on both sides of an equation. I don't know what's going on as far as this whole making videos for your class. It's certainly not your fault, but this is the second time that I've had a lot of technical difficulties just trying to get yours going. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe my computer gets tired or something, but here we are, we're ready to get going. And so this video is strictly for you if you need additional practice. So only you know how much practice you need. So here we are and we're ready to go. So you have 4a plus 26, 50 plus 6a, and you want to get the variable by itself. So we start off by either taking away the 6a or you're going to take away the 4 just so that you can move it so that you're not having a variable on both sides. 4 minus 6a gives you negative 2a, as you know. We still have a 26 to bring down. And then we have 50 that's left there. Now in order to do the next step, a is very closely attached to the negative 2, so you would take away your 26 to make that go. Remember, because we have that equal sign, we have to be very careful that whatever we do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do it to the other. Another thing that sometimes I see students do is I see people wanted to take away this 50 instead of taking away the 26. So we're going to do that. 50 minus 26 gives you 24. So when I have negative 2a equals 24, because this means multiply, you need to divide in order to undo your multiplication. So a equals negative 12. And so here's my answer to this question. Now on this side, it really isn't important that you always bring it over to the left. Sometimes people are more comfortable with that, but you really don't need to. What you can do is you can take away the smaller one and move everything to the right. That's perfectly fine also, as long as you're maintaining the integrity of this equals, so that you can do that. So 6r minus 2r is 4r minus 12, and then you can continue on with that process. Okay, so then in order to continue getting the r by itself, we have the 4r here and we need to add 12 to, in effect, move that over. And I get 4r equals 48. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Because to undo multiplication, you need to divide, and that gives me a 12. Okay, I'm going to take a look at some other things that might happen. And I would suggest that you do that multiplication on the side just so that you can tell that I'm telling you the truth there. This 4b I notice is smaller, so since I like to work in positives, I'm going to take away the 4b from both sides. And what that's going to end up giving me is a 12b plus 6 over here. And it's going to give me a 96 over on the other side. Let me just make sure I've got the right question here. Oh, 60, not 6, 60. So 96. Then I can take away the 60. And when I take away the 60 from both sides, always from both sides to keep your algebra problem going, you get 12b equals 36. Then you can divide both sides by 12. and you get b equals 3. And that would be your final answer. Now this one is not difficult, but it's difficult at the same time because this is one of the problems that sometimes people get a little confused about, because this x and the negative x, sometimes people want to just make them cancel, but they don't. And sometimes when we add it to both sides to make this one gone, people forget that there's really 1x here and 1x here. 1 and 1 gives you 2x, so be careful with this one. Equals 87, and then you need to take away your 21. So this would give you 66, so 2x being 66. Don't forget to divide to undo multiplication, and that will give you 33. Showing steps is important, just to keep yourself doing one step at a time. Now this problem, notice I've got the same problem twice. That's because there's two things I want to point out. First of all, like I said, you don't have to have the variable on the left side. So what I could do if I wanted to is I could take away 6n from both sides. And when I do that, 4 minus 6 gives you negative 2. Like you know, you start at 4 on the number line, you go left, you go past 0. This part is negative 42, and I could divide by negative 2, and then that means that n equals 21. There's your final answer there. The other thing that sometimes students will do is say, oh, I see this 4n, I want to bring it over to the left because that's what I always do, which is fine. You can do that. But just be careful. When you do that, you've done the same thing to both sides. So 6 minus 4 gives you your 2n. But 4n minus 4n gives you 0. So since 4n minus 4n gives you 0, don't forget that 0 is a number. Don't get confused and move equal signs. You can have a 0 over here, and that's fine. Just don't lose the number that's over here and bog down and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, because anything minus itself gives you 0. I want to get rid of this 42 now, so I'm going to add it to both sides. Inverse operations. To get rid of negative 42, add 42. And then divide by 2 on both sides, and you get n equals 21. Right there. Okay, just a couple more, and then that'll be it for the extra examples today, and then you can go ahead and make sure that you complete that assignment that I told you to today, and that'll be great. Over here, a couple different ways you could handle it. The easiest one is to take the 3x away. When I take the 3x, I get 2 minus 3, which is negative 1x, equals 2. And then when you divide by negative 1, positive 2 divided by negative 1 gives you a negative 2. That's the easiest way to handle that one. This one, don't get disturbed by the fact that there are big numbers. When I have a negative with a variable, I like to do the opposite of that one, because adding is always easier than subtracting. So I've got 45m here that I'm going to add to both sides. And this will give us 129m minus 61. We're trying to get things away from the m, so we're going to add 61 to both sides. 129m equals 129. Aha, now it's starting to get easier. Just in case you were afraid, thinking ahead, going, oh my gosh, I have to divide by 129. You do, but you're only having to divide 129 by 129, and we know that anything divided by itself gives you 1. So that's the ending of that. I hope that you were able to pick up on what you need and you're good and confident, but please don't forget to contact me if you have any questions. Have a really great day, guys.